who's going to teach you chemistry, and this is Mr. whatever, who's going to teach you biology. Those were the days when you couldn't question your father for the decisions that he makes in life. But I had the guts to ask him one day that why did you give me these 3 tutors? And he said that the challenge, not the challenge, sorry, wrong choice of word. One aspiration that I have is you becoming a doctor. And I asked him, why do you want me to become a doctor? And his take was, in our family history, family tree, there are very few doctors. Most of them are engineers. So I want you to become a doctor. I accepted his logic, studied my 12th under the guidance of these 3 individuals. But the challenge was that the upper compartment has to have something for you to become a doctor. So I couldn't become a doctor. Then I did my BSc and I did my MSc and I started working. Then all of a sudden, my father was very unwell and he passed away in 2001. And I took some decisions in life at that point in time, which today, when I step back and think through those decisions, I realized that probably if I had a mentor or somebody guiding me, my decisions would have been different. So that was the premise with which I started my coaching company, did a lot of work in life coaching and executive coaching till this opportunity came up from ActionCOACH. ActionCOACH wanted me to become part of their team as a franchise owner, as a certified business coach, because everywhere it was falling in place that my premise has been that I impact businesses, corporations by transforming people. And here the entire model was about transformation of people and systems. That appealed to me, and for the last 3 years, I've been doing business coaching for the SME and the MSME sector. Brief about ActionCOACH. ActionCOACH was set up by Brad Sugars. Brad Sugar is an Australian gentleman. He started ActionCOACH in 1994-95. Currently, they operate from Las Vegas. They have around 1,000 coaching offices in 76 countries. And we coach 15,000 businesses across the world every week. And towards the end of today's session, I'll tell you about how we go about doing it. But that's ActionCOACH. Objective is, I am not here to tell a business owner whether or how he should run his business domain. My job is to give him education. And we talk in terms of world abundance through business re-education. If all of us, all coaches together, we have about 10,000 odd coaches globally, if all of us are impacting businesses and the businesses themselves start making more money, the world GDP goes up and you have a lot more employment. So you're impacting the GDP and you're looking at employment. So that's the premise that we use when we talk in terms of world abundance through business education. The other day I was having a conversation with a business owner. And the conversation was revolving around his ability or inability to retain salespeople. So he mentioned to me that he had a salesperson who he had appointed, on paper very good, interviews fantastic, but he went out on a project and this guy did not come back to the organization. Okay. The second person was appointed, and within 3 months, he found another job and he went away. The third guy he appointed and is still within the organization, but he doesn't do anything concrete, constructive. This business owner actually wants him to go, but a certain fear is holding him back. So we're having this conversation and this business owner finally asked me, well, what do you feel about it? So I had only one question to ask him. And the question was, in these three incidences, what is that common thread running between these three incidences? He gave it a lot of thought. And he asked me, are you implying it's me? I kept quiet. And the business owner finally said, I think it is me. Why am I not able to retain people? Gentlemen and ladies, the reason I mentioned the story is that the fact of the matter is everything that we have or don't have is a direct outcome of what we do or don't do. It is not our brother-in-law's, it is not our mother-in-law's fault about the situation that we are in today. Whatever situation we are in today, the only person who takes responsibility for that situation is me, I. And that's where I want to start off this entire conversation today on the point of power. This point of power or point of line or the line that we call a line of power, if you look at our life, if all of us look at our life, we are always below the line. We are blaming Mr. Narendra Modi, we are blaming Uddhav Thackeray, we are blaming Nirmala Sitharaman, we are blaming our employees, we are giving excuses why we are not able to get up in the morning and do certain things. We are staying in a state of denial that my business is hunky-dory, my customers are happy, I am doing the best I can. We are always in bed. We have always a reason to cite why we are not getting the success that we desire. This is making us powerless. You look at your organizations around, whoever runs an organization, whenever you're having a meeting, you ask a salesperson, why sales not picking up? Maybe not in the COVID era, maybe pre-COVID era, and this will certainly happen post-COVID era. The salesperson will say, what to do, sir? The manufacturing is not giving me. You ask the manufacturing head, what's happening? He says the salesperson is keeping on changing the specifications, and hence I'm not able to make because supply chain is not able to cater to me. You ask the supply chain, what is happening? He points the finger at the finance guy. The finance guy, he says, sir, we have not paid our vendors for such a long time. I'm not able to get my components from my vendors. You ask the finance guy, what is the problem with the cash flow? Why is money not coming in? He points the finger at the salesperson and he says, this guy has gone ahead and selling. Where is he recovering the money? This happens in all organizations. That we are so happy blaming each other. We are so happy giving excuses. We're living in that life of denial. At the end of the day, as a business owner, you don't know what's happening. You're in a state of powerless. On the other hand, you tell people in your organization that the business is yours. You should be taking ownership of the business. You should be taking accountability for your function, and you should be taking responsibility for your actions. That is going to make us powerful. What is happening in the external world is not in my control, but what is happening in my actions is totally in my control. So what is stopping me from controlling the ore of my life and business? So my humble suggestion, guys, ladies and gentlemen who are in this room, that for the next 90 minutes, we will not be in bed. Whatever we hear in this, some of it may appeal to you, some of it you think you can implement right away. Please take accountability of it and do it. Please take ownership of it and do it. Please take responsibility of it, do it. We all know the business will not be the same post-COVID. The world will not be the same post-COVID. Let's start thinking today that what are we going to do post-COVID so that my business gets realigned into the new normal, because a new normal has changed. If an organization like mainland China can change their business model and say, how do I deliver it to the doorsteps of my customer? If that villager in Nasik can start thinking, how do I sell? APMC market is closed. How do I sell my produce? So he's selling truckloads of vegetables directly to the household to my building. If people can start rethinking about their businesses, why can't we do it? What is stopping us? Please believe this, that the way we spend the next 6 weeks of our life will determine the success and failure of our life. That is the fact of life. We have the opportunity to step back and create a plan for ourselves, for our lives. Let's do it. So while ActionCOACH speaks about the growth, let's first think about your business. Is your business driving you, or are you driving your business? How many of us in this room today, the 26 of us in this room today, who can happily take a 6-month holiday once COVID era is over, or maybe 3 months hence, go to Bahamas without our emails and phones, and after 6 months come back and find a thriving business? I'm sure in this room, there will not be one single individual today who can say that I can take a 6-month holiday. Why have we made ourselves so indispensable in our business? Why is it that we work the hardest in our business and probably make the lowest amount of money compared to a lot of our senior professionals? Why is it that a lot of people come at 9 in the morning, go back at 6 in the evening, and have a family life and have a 30-day holiday and can go and go out for an outing, whereas we as business owners can't? Because the fact of the matter is that we are not driving our business. The business is driving us. Statistics have said that 80% of businesses die within the first 5 years. The worst thing is, of that 20% of the business, 50% would die in the next 5 years. Because how long can an individual put in so much time, energy, effort into driving a business and not getting burnt out? Let's avoid this burnout situation. There's so much that can be done in life only if we have a plan for our business, a systematic method of transforming our business, a method by which I become indispensable to that business, by which the business runs on autopilot. Let's look at those reasons. Let's look at the processes, because it's a simple process. As ActionCOACH, we believe in keeping life simple. So if you follow the simple 6 steps of business, there is a good chance that in, say, 24 months or 36 months from now, you will have a business that does not require you. But the question is, what is Action's definition of a successful business? Action's definition of a successful business, it has to be a commercial, it has to be a profitable, and it has to be an enterprise, because we are there. All of us do charity, but our commercial venture is not meant for charity. We are not running a charity. So we are running a commercial, profitable enterprise, but at some point in time, it should work without you. in this case without me. Beyond Red Ocean Consulting in 3 years from now should be in a position to run without me. If I am not able to do it, all that we are doing is remaining self-employed. We are not becoming a true entrepreneur. And if we want to become a true entrepreneur, that 6 steps that we will talk about is a model which followed will make you an entrepreneur, which will give you time, which will give you energy, which will give you the mindset to do multiple things. No one is telling you to go away from your business. What I'm only telling you is you're going into your business should be out of your choice. If you don't want to go into your business every morning at 9 o'clock, your business should not wait for you to enter. You go to your business, it is out of your choice. But before we step into the 6 steps, let's look at the current. In the current, we are in tough situations. The COVID, when I was talking to my clients in the month of in early March, late February, early March, a lot of my clients, a lot of businesses had not done too well in calendar year 2019. And because they had not done too well in 2019, but January was good for most businesses. January, February was good for most businesses. So they were pretty gung-ho about how fiscal 2021 would look like. So we're making plans of recruitment, we're making plans of expansion, we're making plans of what products to be added, etc., etc. So we're pretty gung-ho. We're making those huge business plans with my clients. And then by early March, the signals came up that all is not too well. Maharashtra went into partial lockdown. Then 22nd March came, and then 25th March came. And we were told that till 15th of April, everything would be shut down. All businesses had to close except essentials. Come 14th of April, we were told till 3rd of May, businesses shut down. As business owners, we have set up the business not to shut it down. So how do you cope up with this going forward? So what are the 3 runways for success that we are propagating to our clients now, which is in the COVID and post-COVID era? How are we looking at that? So the first runway to success is what we call the runway to survival. And this we started in around 15th of April or first week of April for the month April and May. The objective for this is how can I step back and have a complete relook at my business? How do I revive my business when the situation comes up? During this period of time, what are those opportunities that have emerged? What are the new opportunities that have emerged? Do I now need to relook at my product portfolio and see what can be done or what should be done? The reality is, managing people within an organization was itself tough. Now your people are all in remote locations. And all of us getting inputs from news channels, getting inputs from WhatsApp, and getting inputs from the friend and families. And all of them creating their own perceptions in life. So the first thing that comes up is, how do you communicate to them during this crisis? What is your crisis communication strategy? If earlier you were speaking to them once a week, how are you speaking to them once in 2 days? What are you communicating? Are you honestly communicating to them the challenges that your business is going through? Are you communicating to them that what are the measures that we need to take? Where are the areas that we can have a kind of probably need to compromise, maybe on expenses? What are the new opportunities that are coming up? Are you talking to them and figuring out what are the new opportunities? Are we studying enough about the marketplace and seeing what are the new opportunities? How can I realign my business once it starts? Or am I sitting back and saying that bed, I'll keep on blaming, I'll keep on giving excuses, and I live in a life of denial? Preservation of cash is extremely important. We'll talk in terms of cash flows and how you can now change the way you're looking at your cash flows. Something interesting that I saw when I was sending out a few emails, inviting them for this webinar, I saw about 10 auto responses coming in from those emails that I sent, that because of COVID, we are not doing anything. We have stopped manufacturing. We have stopped selling. We have stopped everything. We will come back to you after your COVID, after the COVID era passes. Is that how we are responding to our customer emails? Because I'm sure the auto responses is the same. Is this how I'm responding to my customers? Am I telling my customer who's also going through tough times that I'm not interested in your business anymore? I will come back when I want to come back, and then I will reach out to you. Is this how we are treating our customers? Yes, we can't keep our commitments. Everybody knows that. But what are the communications that is going to our customers? Please believe that these customers, once they go away, will not come back again. How are you continuing your investment in marketing? Some amount of investment has to continue in marketing. Look at your cash flows and figure out from where do you get the cash to invest in marketing. You cannot be out of sight, out of mind. You have to do some amount of marketing. And under any circumstances, retain your A team. Yes, there will be tough decisions that need to be taken. But once the business starts, once the revival starts, it is your A team which is going to drive your business. So under any circumstances, retain your A team. Look at your employees and work backwards and take corrective action. Look at your employees. Ask yourself a question. If you were to start your business from ground zero, would you like to rehire all of them? Or would you look at a different kind of skill set? I'm not at any point in time suggesting that you should tell your people to go, but you should do your employee mapping now. That who is your A team and who is your B team and who is your C team? Because when tough decisions need to be taken, you know then where the tough decisions need to be taken. What about your expenses? What happens to your budgeting? Can you do with the same cost structure? I was talking to a real estate guy the other day, and he says the real estate prices in Mumbai are supposed to crash, because organizations are saying, why do we need these kind of large office spaces when we are getting accustomed to online? If only 20% or 30% of the people need to come to a workplace in the next 1 year on a rotation basis, why do we need to invest? Can we move into smaller places? Because that's big costs. What are your expenditures? What are those expenditures that are contributing to your revenue, and what are not contributing to your revenue? What can you let go currently? What about asset structure? Is this the same kind of asset structure you would want to operate in? Or you would move into a lighter asset model? What about subcontracting your manufacturing at some point in time? Are you identifying to whom to subcontract these? What about the product portfolio? This 6 weeks, 8 weeks that you're getting, please spend time on this, because this is what will help you take those corrective actions when the new reality comes in. Look at your cash. Split your cash flow into 3 components: operating cash flow, financing cash flow, and investing cash flow. Operating cash flow is that cash that you still require. We are still, as business owners, have been asked to pay salaries and some basic expenses. So that money we require. So from where does that money come in? Do we have that with us, or do we need to get into the financing cash flow? What about our debts with banks? Can I restructure those debts? Can I go and ask them for additional working capital? Can I ask them for moratoriums? How do I use the financing cash flow to manage my operating cash flows? How do we leverage more with the banks? Because banks are sitting on money. They are not making money. You look at the reverse repo rates. The banks are not making any money. So they're willing to give to a business which demonstrates that it will not get into an NPA. What about your investing cash flow for capital expenditure? Which are the ones that can be postponed? Put timelines and milestones for these capital expenditures. Milestones are important. We may have planned in the month of February my capital expenditure budget for fiscal 21. Relook at those capital expenditure budgets and push all those that can be pushed. Not everything is required. You may not need the new car now. You may require a piece of machinery, but you need not replace the AC in your house or your workplace. You need not repair the chair that you're sitting in. You need not buy those computers that you had promised to your staff. Postpone all of them. So split down your cash flow and have a detailed relook. Having done that, now plan for your revival. What are you going to do 90 days to 120 days post the lockdown ending? Now that you have planned, you have a plan in place about what to do with your business, start getting talent. If you can't hire them, if your cash flows are not permitting them, get talent on a consultant mode. People are there. There are a lot of people who would have lost their jobs, great talent. Hire them as consultants, not as full-time players. But you need to pay them. No one is there for charity. You can feel that you are in difficult times, so you will take the help of everybody around you on charity. But please understand that person is also in trouble. So get people. If you can't pay them, get them for shorter durations. Too many businesses in India are hard work driven. Because again, at the cost of repeating, I said, we are all in the business. My efforts are driving the business. I am not on the business. I am not doing my strategizing. So now is the time to set up processes. So what are the processes that I'm going to set up in my business going forward? Because I don't want my business to be running only on the hard work of people. And we'll talk about them. How do you set those processes as we move ahead? How can you start looking at new customers? I was having this conversation with a prospective client the other day. He says, I can't look at new customers because I know all of them. My question would be to him that, do you really know all of them? Is there some market segment that you can now address? Because different market segments have different cyclical. So can you enter into those market segments which will give you cyclical benefits? And at this point in time, please make a promise to yourself that you have depleted a lot of your reserves in the survival space, in the survival runway. You now need to rebuild those reserves that you have depleted. Your cost cutting, cost management should continue. Just because revival has started, please don't go and start on your spending spree. You have to build your reserves. Because if you look at the last 22 years, 1998, we were told the world would shut down because of Y2K. Businesses, the dot-com bust happened. 2003, you had the terror attack. 2008, you had subprime. 2015-16, you had GST and demonet in India. 2020, we have this. Every 5 to 6 years, we are having a difficult time. Gone are the days of the past when life was moving smoothly with not too much of ups and downs. Now life will have its ups and downs every 5 to 6 years. So we need to be prepared for the next downturn when it comes, not at our fault, but whenever it comes, by rebuilding the reserves. Somebody was telling me the other day that people are cribbing that they can't run their family for 21 days, 1 month, because they don't have cash. And my question to him was, then how do you expect to run your life for 30 years after retirement or 20 years after retirement if you can't run your family for 1 year, 1 month? So please look at the reserves. Please start refilling the depletion that you've already done. And finally, once you have looked at all of that, then you look at your runway for growth. It does not mean you don't start working on the systems and processes now, because we have said that you have to start working on them now. But everything should be with these 3 statements in mind. Where I will be in 2 years from now. Do I need to reset my mission and vision statements? Because India will be a land of opportunity 2 years from now, 1 year from now, maybe fiscal 22, April 21 onwards. India will be a land of opportunity. Are we ready to address that opportunity when it comes up to me? From where will my exponential growth come? Exponential growth doesn't come by changing one thing with a magic wand. Exponential growth comes by doing 100 different things and getting that exponential growth. You should be ready with your key team members who are going to be with me. What is the mission and vision that you have sold to them so that they are totally with you? Please understand, we are medium to small businesses. We are not the MNCs of the world, which has people queuing up outside our doors wanting to enter. We have to identify people and keep them in. And I need to sell them that dream about why they should be with me for the next 5, 6, 7 years, and not look at that first opportunity of leaving and going. This is the phase of investment, provided you have been able to build the reserves, provided you have been able to replenish the reserves. This will be the phase of investment, because if you are not ready to invest in fiscal 2021, 21-22, then there will be lots of people who would come and overtake you. So when we talk in terms of the runway for growth, these are the 6 massive steps that we take for results. And the first of them is mastery. All of our lives have been at some point in time in chaos. We started a business with a particular dream in mind. We're very hunky-dory about that business, extremely passionate about business. But somewhere, we're struggling today just meeting the paying of bills. This is where our businesses are in total chaos. We need to rework on them and set our business, give it some control, some semblance of control before we take the next step forward. The next step that we take is niche, which is our cash flows, which is creating predictable cash flow. We need money in the system. Sometimes we have grown too fast and don't have money to grow fast. So So we need to bring in some amount of predictability in our cash flow. We should be sitting on money because we need to invest further. Once we have the cash in place, then we talk in terms of the systems, leveraging. The way we look at leverage is how do you do more with less? If you have a strong system in place, you're bringing in efficiencies into the system, you're leveraging, and your system and your business now gets into autopilot mode because you have a strong system in place. But why are we not doing system now? The reason we are not doing system before mastery or before niche because system costs money. And there's no way you can have a robust system if you don't have cash. Once the systems are in place, then you look at team, because that is where you're now planning to hand over your team, your business to somebody else. Now you're structuring for growth. Now, if you have done the first 3 levels well and the first 4 level is now getting completed, what we have done as a business owner or as a business coach to you is given you time. Because now your team is running the business. You have appointed a CEO, you have appointed a general manager, whoever it is, who's running the business on a day-to-day basis. You're getting your management information in place. You know there is cash happening. This is where passive growth comes, passive income comes. Because you need not go to the office or to your business every single day. The returns are coming. Now, when the returns start coming, what do you do with the additional time or additional money that you have in hand? That's where the synergy and the results come in, where you're now focusing on starting up other businesses or focusing on your personal goals. And you're now truly an entrepreneur. In the first 4 levels, you're no longer an entrepreneur, you're only a self-employed individual. These 6 steps of massive results are directed at taking you from an entrepreneur, from a self-employed to entrepreneur. So when we talk in terms of mastery, there are four types of mastery that you need to first put in place for your businesses. The first is destination mastery. There is no point planning to go from here to somewhere else if you don't know where you are today. If I ask a business owner, what is your vision? What is the ultimate endpoint of your business? What is your marketing plan looking like? What is the plan for the next quarter? Very few people today have a clear answer to this. If I ask a business owner, what are your personal goals and personal aspirations? Because you set up a business to fulfill your personal goals. What are they? Where are they today? Have you been aligned to your personal goals? Is the professional goal fulfilling your personal goals? What are you talking about? Do you have that clarity in mind? If I were to ask a business owner, what is the size of the business that you're planning 5 years from now or 10 years from now? Very few people have any inkling about what is the size of the business that they're doing. For most business owners today, it is like walking on that treadmill, doing the day-to-day activity, not knowing where they are going 5 years from now or what have they achieved 5 years from now. Sorry about that. We need to define our directions of our business. We cannot be running our business sitting on a chaotic situation, just burning, putting out fires. When we started off our business, we were on that seesaw. On one hand, we were one person doing everything. One person, as one person business, we were trying to sell. And once we had sold, we were trying to deliver. As businesses grew, we thought we would get in people. But one major mistake that a lot of business owners globally, and it's not an Indian phenomenon, globally that we do, is we don't want to spend money on people because it's a pinch on our pocket. We are not an MNC that there is a manpower budget. It's a pinch on our pocket. If I spend 1,000 rupees less on that person, I will make 1,000 rupees more. That's the kind of mindset that we work with. So we hire people, but these people, since they have not been trained and they are not high quality people, rather than running the business, taking it over from me, they're creating more and more problems. So now I go round and round the mulberry tree, putting off those fires. Now, when I'm putting off those fires, I'm so tired of putting off those fires that one day I say, what am I doing with having people in my organization? I will sack everybody and I will run my business because there's nobody else who can do my business better than me. We're all in the same situation. We believe that there's nobody in our organization who can do the business as well as me. And hence, if I have delegated something to somebody and he or she is not doing it, I take it back and I do it because I know I can do it the best. What are we doing with our businesses? How long can you do this? We don't know where we are. We don't know where we are going. We don't know when we will be going there. We are doing everything ourselves. We are creating a mess in our life because we have no control on the business ourselves. We are in a totally chaotic situation. So that's the first thing that you need to look at, which I was again talking to a few individuals, that don't try to do too many things. Put your house in order first. You don't have a mission or a vision and you are growing and you want to get great people into your system. What dream are you going to sell to them? You want the business to be a perpetual business? You want strong people to run your business? If you want strong people to run your business, then you want them to stay with you for longer durations. But you don't sell them a dream. You don't tell them the why of that business. You just tell them the what of that business. They're not going to stay with you. So as a first step, friends, please set your destination mastery in place. Second is your money mastery. The fact of the matter is that not too many business owners are happy dealing with numbers. I've seen too many business owners giving the responsibility of the balance sheet and the profit and loss account and the cash flows to the accountants. As a coach, as a business coach, we need to first bring them into the numbers game. It is the numbers game that drives a business. Most of us drive our own cars. Just imagine in your car, you have taken off the dashboard. You don't know at what speed you're driving. You don't know how many kilometers you have driven. You don't know what is the fuel that you have in your tank. You don't know how long the car will run. It's very similar to your business. There's no dashboard because the dashboard is with the accountant. And end of the year, you look at the dashboard and say, where is all my money gone? How many of us know our true margins? And true margins I define, because many of us will say we know our margins of our products, but true margins are those margins where you have added on our cost. Have we added our cost into the my cost into the product cost and then calculated margin? Because tomorrow, if I want somebody else to drive the business, then his costs have to be added, right? And you add his cost, his or her cost then, and your margins go for a toss. I ask business owners, what is your margin of your business? And he says, on average, about 10 to 12%. Do you have any clue, if you have 10 products, what is the true margin of all your products independently? Because if you don't, and your salespeople don't, because if you don't, your salespeople will not know, are they selling those products which are the lower margin products? And you're increasing you're reducing your profits? What is the inventory that you're holding? What is your cash gap? You're buying from your vendor, you're giving him 30 days, he's giving you 30 days credit, you're paying him off in 30 days. Then you're taking that product to convert it into a final product, another 60 days, 90 days. Then you're selling to your customer. He's taking another 30 days. It's a cash gap that you're having. You've already paid your vendors. And by the time you recover the money from your customer, you're sitting on a cash gap. And I've heard many business owners tell me that all our profits are locked in inventory. Do we have a sense of those numbers? Because if we don't have a sense of those numbers, how are we going to change them? What are the industry benchmarks as far as costs are concerned? Are we on industry benchmarks? Are we above industry benchmarks? Where are we? Do we have any clue about our market share? Or are we just off and on in the AC room deciding, no, we have 30% market share or 40% market share or 50% market share? Are we doing any studies to figure out? The fact of the matter is that most business owners are not paying enough attention to the money element. Most business owners are not acting as business owners, they're acting like employees. There's this conversation that we were having with a catering company the other day. And the owner of the catering company is their main cook. And he was complaining to me that I have 5 other cooks and I get paid equal to all of them. I'm making equivalent money to all the other cooks. I said, you should make only enough money like the other cooks because you are in the business. You're doing the work of an employee rather than as a business owner. If you are doing the work of as an employee, who is doing the work of a business owner? And he was pretty upset with my statement, but that's a fact of life. That we are all working as an employee and not thinking about our businesses. So now we want to make more money, but I'll continue to work as an employee. So money mastery is where, as coaches, as business coaches, we bring the business owners who are not happy dealing with numbers. We have to bring it. We have to bring them onto that page. And we have to ask those questions, and they have to ask those questions to their team members about all the numbers, because that's where your business is going to get measured. Please remember this. You may be a 100 crore company or a 200 crore company. That is only vanity. What is the margin that you're making? What is the profits that you're making? That is sanity. But if that profit is going to stick or going to get locked in your inventory, where is the cash? Because the only reality in any business is the cash. So we may want to reduce the scope of our business. We will want to shed off a few of our customers because we need to give away our vanity, to some extent give away our sanity, but come down to reality. End of the month, how much money is my business making in hard cash? Not from the bank statement. Because most of us, again, most of business owners that I've seen, they look at the bank statement and say, "Mere paas itna paisa hai. I have so much money in my bank." Not knowing what is the amounts payable, and what are the amounts receivable. They have no clue on that. The bank statement is all that they depend upon. The third is time. Can we manage time? The fact of the matter again is that none of us can manage time. The only thing that we can manage is people and processes. Many business owners have changed the spelling of business from B-U-S-I-N-E-S-S to B-U-S-Y-N-E-S-S. They are constantly busy. There are 5 different phones in their cabins, each ringing, and they're putting out fires. Now, question is, why have those fires come? The reason the fires have come is because we have turned this upside down. We at some point in time have not stepped back and focused at that middle 20, at that center 20%. We have not done those work which are not urgent but important. Because if you have not done those things which are not urgent but important, at some point in time, they turn out to be urgent and important. And that is where our time is taken on running the business on a day-to-day basis by putting out those fires. And because of social media and because of so much of distraction, at some point in time, we are also focusing upon the not too important but urgent stuff, which we live in a world of delusion. According to us, it's important, but according to the business requirements, it's not important, and we think it's urgent and we focus on them. Now, there are 2 ways of doubling the business. One is double the people, and the second is double the productivity. And all of us business owners will know that doubling the people is way more expensive than doubling the productivity. And no guesses, no second guesses about it. So how do we bring in the system of efficiency and effectiveness in our businesses? By starting from ourselves. And we should start working from ourselves, we're working on the business, so that we don't have to spend too much time in putting out the fires. We are not a firefighting engine. We are not a firefighting engine that we have to go out and put out fires. We are a business owners, for heaven's sake. The 4th thing that we talk about is delivery. Delivery mastery. Customers are not concerned about the best quality product. Customers are concerned about getting products on time with great service and good quality product, what has been promised by us. This is something that most organizations are struggling. And many people tell me that one of the reasons why they are not willing to expand is not because the cash, but because you are not willing, because you're not currently satisfying your customers' requirement, and there's so much of fire at the customer's requirement, your delivery is a challenge. Once these 4 things have been addressed, and this can take time, depending on the mess the business is in, the state of the business that is in. Once these 4 things have been mastered, and this is what hence we call the mastery, then we move on to the next level, that is niche. This is the difficult part, because this is clearing the chaos. Once the chaos has been cleared, now we move into niche. And niche, as we define under action, is predictable cash flow. We have created that commercial venture. Now we need to make it profitable. And the thing that defines Action's definition of niche is no price competition. Now take an example. There's somebody sitting in this room who would want to change his car tires, and he calls up the tire vendor asking for tires. And the first question that he asks is, what is the price of the tire? And the answer invariably he gets is XYZ. If the invariable answer to that question of the cost of the tire or the price of the tire is the price of the tire itself, then there is no other discussion apart from price, because no one is selling value. Our sales team has not been trained to sell value. Our sales team has been told to go and sell. No one has even told them how to sell. So what is the value that we are selling? Because please remember, there's a word called as discount. Discount kills businesses. By giving discounts, what kind of customers are we attracting? We are attracting customers who would buy the product or service only if discounts are given at the lowest possible price point. What is the guarantee that tomorrow nobody else would come and offer a price lower than ours because to that same customer, because that customer's only value proposition that he gets is price? How can we move that away? Maybe we'll need to give away a certain customer segment, so be it. But for that, we need to create our selling proposition. Why do customers buy from us? Look at something like a Domino's pizza. They are not the best pizza in the world, but they're still selling. They're not selling because of the quality of the pizza, but the quality of the USP. Their USP is not the pizza. Their USP is a 30-minute delivery. Are we ever comparing prices when we are buying a pizza sitting at home? Are we comparing prices and saying Domino's is so much and Smoking Joe's is so much, XYZ is so much, let me go to somebody else? You're not, because if you want a pizza, the top of mind recall is a Domino's. So in our businesses, as action coaches, we help businesses create their USPs. Not only create their USPs, but go and communicate those USPs. Every communication, every marketing communication should be communicating those USPs. Our salespeople should be trained to communicate those USPs. Our salespeople should be communicating value rather than price. Once you have communicated the USP, then you give a guarantee. Because if you're creating a USP, people will ask initially that what is the guarantee? Domino's had said, if you don't get within 30 minutes, the pizza is free. So what is the guarantee you're giving to your customer? Because if you're not able to create this niche, then the proposition, then the fact of the matter remains that we will sell on price. And if you're selling on price, we will never be making enough more money to grow our businesses. We have to move away from the discounts. We had clients coming to us and asking, what is the discount you give us? And as action coaches, we tell them, we are telling you how not to give discounts. Because at the cost of repeating, discounting is 100% methodology of killing your business in the long term. So now once we have created the USP and the guarantee, and we are creating our no price competition, we now look at how do you make more money? How do you grow your revenues? And we have customers who are coming and asking us always that help me get me more customers, help me make more money, and help me make more profit. Customers are always asking these three questions to all of us. All business coaches around the world have to encounter these three questions. Because as a business owner, if you are signing up ActionCOACH, you are giving a certain fee to ActionCOACH. That's an investment. Now you need to know your ROIs, or you want your ROIs. And when you want your ROIs, you would want to make this happen. They said the first thing they would tell us, well, give us more customers. How can you give us more customers? Because these are the three things that they know. Now that is where it becomes very exciting, and let's put some numbers that put some structures in. How many of us are measuring our leads on a day-to-day basis? How many of us know, okay, let go of the last 1 month, how many of us know between January and February from what was the number of leads that we got? From where did those leads come? What was the source of those leads? Are we measuring those leads? You're investing so much money in marketing. What is your MROI? What is your marketing ROIs? You should know that from where you are spending the marketing money, what is the return that you're making? The challenge with most business owners is they have no clue on those number of leads that are coming. There was this example with a coach, global coach, who went and asked his business owner, what's your conversion? What is the number of leads you're getting? He says, I spent $100,000 on these three elements, and these are the number of leads that come. When we went and measured, when my coach colleague went and measured, he realized that the $60,000 that he was spending had no leads coming up. All the leads were coming from that $40,000 of the $100,000 he was spending annually. Now, it doesn't require an intelligent man to think, an intelligent person to think that what would he be doing next with the $60,000? He would be shutting them down and putting it where the leads are coming from. But the point is that we don't know from where the leads are coming. We don't even know where the conversion rates are happening. What is the conversion rate? If you are getting 100 leads in a week, what's your conversion rate? Is 5%, 10%, 20%, 50%, 80%? What's your conversion rate? People give me ballpark figures. All coaches, all of us get ballpark figures, about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, anywhere. And when we go and measure, we see significantly different numbers. Number of leads into your conversion is your customer. Now, how many transactions do they do? Average. Some customers may do it 1 time in a year. Some may do 10 times. But what is the average customer transaction that happens? Most of us would have our databases of our customers. We've started our businesses 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years back. We have a databases of customers. Hand on heart, friends, how many of us have written to all our customers in the last 90 days, thanking him for being a customer and asking him how you can help address his requirements? I'm sure it will be a handful of us in this room of 27, 28 who would have done that. We are not communicating to your customers. If the customers don't know where our businesses have gone, what are the new products we are selling, we are not sending the customer a thank you note. Orders received from January, February, how many of us have even sent a thank you note or a card? Don't underestimate the power of a strong greeting card. Everyone is sending emails. Why can't we be different? I was having this conversation in the month of January with a real estate guy. He says, well, why should I write to the customers? Because my customers buy once in 5 years, once in 7 years. Once they buy a flat or property, they're there for 5 years. I asked him, what do you think would be the cost of sending a greeting card? And this is a good greeting card, 100 rupees, another, so maybe 200 rupees of sending a greeting card to a customer. And I told him, I'm asking you to send one greeting card once in 90 days. So even if you assume your customer is going to buy a property in the next 7 years, you're going to send him 28 greeting cards, 4 greeting cards a year, 4 thank you notes a year, into 728. 28 times 200, 5,600. Is 5,600 not a great investment to make for selling a property of a couple of crores? What is stopping us from doing it? Sometimes as business owners, we forget that it takes 7 times the money in a new acquisition compared to managing an existing client. You have spent so much money, time, and energy in acquiring a customer. Why are you letting it go? Then we come down to average dollar sales. Is our sales team trained to sell more? Look at a McDonald's example. All of us go for a burger. And that lady or a young guy, all of 24, 25 years old, first says, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, sir, namaskar, sir. Okay, sir, we'll one Mac burger for you. What else can I give you, sir? A juice, a coffee, some fries. He or she has been trained to upsell. And even if 3 guys out of 10 agree for an upsell, you're increasing your average dollar value by at least about 10 to 15%, if not more. Because customers into number of transactions into average dollar sale is your revenue. And then you have your profit margins. Now you will see that the 5 are in blue and the 3 in red. And because we are not having an interactive session today, but in most cases, when I ask why those 3 are in red, people say because those are the important ones. The fact is, those red are the least of the important ones because those are outcomes. The 5 in blue are your important ones which you need to take action. We as action coaches, we have the benefit because our system has about 80 ways of generating leads. And you look at any of your businesses, it could be in single digits, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways of generating leads. We have about 60 ways of increasing your conversion rate. We have about 80 ways of increasing your transaction. We have about 70 ways of increasing your average dollar sale, and about another 60 odd strategies for increasing profit margin. We have about 320 strategies in all. Because that's where, as business owners, our focus should be. Now let's put some numbers to it. Now for the sake of ease, I have said that in a business, you're generating 4,000 leads and your conversion rate is 25%. Your number of customers is 4,000 into 25% is about 1,000. Average, those customers buy from you twice a year. Some may be buying once, some may be buying 10 times, but averaging out at 2. Your average dollar sale at $100, some may be buying $1, some may be buying $10,000, averaging out at $10, at $100. Your revenue is $200,000. Your profit margins at 25%. Your net profit that you're making is $50,000. Now, as Action Coach, I said that most business owners, if I were to ask you how many lead generation strategies do you have, and simple methods of measuring. Now, if you were to use our strategies and just go and measure the way your leads, there's a good possibility that we will increase the number of leads by 10%. We can do it much faster and we can do it much more. But depending on the kind of businesses that you are running, depending on the availability of cash and people, because we don't want to overload the marketing expenses so much even before generating your cash flows. We are saying just a 10% increase, 80 strategies for lead generation. 80 strategies of lead generation from your current 3, helping you measure the lead generations that you're having, going and reaching out to them, because today if your lead generation is the conversion rate is 25%, which means 3 out of 4 customers are going away. How do you bring them back? To do all that, a 10% increase in a period of 12 months in the number of leads is possible. We are not saying 20%, we are not saying 30%. It could be as high as 15, 20, 30%. You never know. But let's take a realistic nominal growth of 10%. Now, using the strategies, using the measurement tactics, going and figuring out why are customers buying from you, and using our strategies that you have, we can look at additional 10% conversion rate. And additional 10%, I'm not propagating 35%, 10% of 25%. I am saying 10% on 25%, which is 27.5%. Your current is 25%. If you know your conversion rate, great. If you don't know your conversion rate, the headroom for growth is much higher. Go and check the numbers. Because if you are having a conversion rate of 27.5%, your number of customers should increase to 1,200. We spoke about the increasing number of transactions, writing to them once in 90 days, going and telling people, like a coach friend of mine has trained his barber to send him, this guy goes for a haircut about 6 times in a year. Ideally, he should go 12 times, but he forgets. So he's trained his barber to send him a WhatsApp message every month, reminding that the haircut is due. Now, assuming that those small strategies are adopted in your businesses, there's a good possibility that this guy, instead of going 6 times, would go 9 times, which is a 50% growth. Those kind of growths are possible. But here we are, for the sake of calculation, we are saying grow by 10%. 10% on 2, which is 2.2. And if you adopt the domino strategy, if you train your salespeople to sell on value, if you tell your salespeople to stop discounting, if you create your USPs, if you create your guarantees, if you create the communication tools that are required, if you're selling on value proposition, or if you use the 60 strategies that we have as action coaches, you can actually double your average dollar sale. But what I am telling out here is, let's not let's not think about doubling. Let's just look at 10% growth in a 12-month period, which goes to 110, which means the revenue should go up by 220,000, another 10%. But we forget the power of the multiplying. It is not 10% growth on revenue. It is 10 into 10 into 10, because you have used 10 3 times. And your revenues will go up to $292,000, 820, which is a 46% growth. Just by measuring what you are doing, just by using newer strategies in generating leads, just by using strategies for improving your conversion rate, just by using the 90-day plan for reaching out to your customers, by creating the USPs, by creating the guarantees, by selling value, the sales have gone up by 46%. And every accountant in this room would know, all accountants in this room would know, that when your revenues go up, your costs are already fixed. your profit margins have to go up. And even if it doesn't, we have another 60 strategies to improve your profit margins, which can actually double. But for the sake of calculation here, simplification of calculation, keeping it very, very realistic, I'm just saying a 10% growth on your profit margins. That 10% from 25 to 27.5%, taking the power of multiplication, your profit goes up to 80,525, which is a 46% increase in revenue and 61% increase in profits just by doing small actions of measuring and using the strategies, what the 320 strategies that we have. Friends, you will say it's tough right now. I agree, it is tough. In the COVID era, this may not go immediately. But when you're looking at a 2-year time horizon for your business, there is no reason why it can't go up to 46% in your revenue and 61% in your profits. Now imagine you have this kind of money in hand. What will you do with that money as far as business is concerned? And what will you do with that money, the $30,000 that you're making extra? What's stopping us from taking action? Would you get a new car? Would you go on a holiday? Or what would you do with this 300 hours that you have in hand? Just ponder over it for a minute. It is somewhere our mindsets and our lack of bringing in systems and measurement in our businesses which are stopping us from growing. We can either be in bed or we can take the oar and say, how do I ride through my life and get a great business in place? So now once you have the cash in hand, you are making enough and more money. And as business coaches of ActionCOACH, we are not propagating anything that you do, any investments that you do till you have the money in hand. The third is leveraging. In leveraging, now you're bringing in systems so that the business gets into an autopilot mode that starts working on its own. And for us, leveraging is all about system, which is saving yourself time, energy, and money. Why should I be in that chair of that CEO, MD, whoever, when my business can be an autopilot? So for us, there are 9 steps to systemizing our business. This is an instant system book that has been written by Brad Sugars. This is available on Amazon. You can go and buy it because it will help you relook at your business differently. The 9 ways of systemizing our business are: first is your mission. Not the small things, but what is that big vision that you have for your organization? What is it that makes you wake up in the morning every single day and drives that business? What is that vision that is driving all your team members? You have to identify that big why. Why are we all in this together? Because the more you sell that vision to your team, the more they will be attached to you. Then you talk in terms of the mission statement. How are we going to do? What are those steps that we are going to take to drive it through? What is your culture? Every organization has different cultures, and we are not propagating one culture is better than the other. But the fact is that you need to have culture statements. If tomorrow you're getting strong people to come into your business, You should be able to tell them what are the rules of the game that you're going to play this game of business in. Writing culture statements is easy because it comes in from the founder. What is the culture of the founder? And as a business owner, you have to first have your culture statements in place. Those can get modified over time. If you have a problem understanding how culture statements are written, I can help you. We as Action Coach have 14 culture statements. Anyone who wants them, either you go into actioncoach.com site or you ask me, I will share with you. Once you have those 3 in place, those are your foundation statements. Then you start setting goals. And goals have to be SMART. Like many of us know, SMART is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic with a time. Everything that you are doing, every goal that you have in your business should have a SMART tag to it. I go one step forward. When we have worked with businesses for a couple of years, I said change the word A from attainable to aspirational. Because today, when you're systemizing the business, it's good to have attainable. But when you're already systemized your business, now your goals need to be aspirational. What do all of us aspire to be? Your aspirational statements have to be put in place. Then comes your organization chart. And I ask business owners that you have a mission and a vision about creating a business. How do you think your organization chart would look like when your business is complete? And to be honest, many business owners struggle, and that's where we coaches come in. We help them create that org structure. A lot of those places may be vacant. That's okay. But I need to know what will my marketing team look like? What's my manufacturing team look like? What's my the sales team would look like? What kind of structuring that I would have for my sales team? Would it be regional? Would it be product aligned? What kind of structures would I have? So start plotting the organization structure, organization chart. It will take time. It will not happen overnight because it has to be thought through. Because only once you have thought through, then you will get a feel about how your future business, because that's where your visualization about your future business would happen. That's where I ask you first, in Destination Mastery, what is it that you would want your business to be in 3 years from now? Then write positional contracts. We know positional contracts. What are those positional contracts? What is a person's job description? What is he supposed to deliver? What are his measurement parameters? What are his fixed remunerations? What are his variable remunerations? What are his bonus remunerations? Write positional contracts for each role in the organization. People should know why they're coming into that workplace. There have been a lot of situations where I ask a business owner and he gives me a card. I'm head marketing. I said, you're head marketing, but what is the job that you do? He says, I am head marketing. For me, that is incomplete. That is not sufficient. Either you decide to stay as part of management or you decide to get into operational. Either you be as part of the owners or be part of the team delivering. Because you may be a business owner at home, but if you are part of that business looking after a particular function, you should have a positional contract. Business owners need to have a positional contract. I've seen a lot of business owners bringing in their siblings, bringing in their children, family members, just giving them a title on a table. Not. If you have to work with ActionCOACH, that will not work. Because you need to have a clear segregation between ownership and management. Either you're management, then you have a positional contract, or you're an owner, sit at home, come once a month, once a week for your reviews. That's all. and let your professionals run the business. For each of those positional contracts, you need KPIs, key performance indicators. What are those persons supposed to do? For every activity, you should have key performance indicators. Then you do your how-to systems, which is your SOPs. And you realize that how-to systems is at number 8, because unless you have people who have been plugged into your organization chart, who know what the SMART goals are, who have the positional contracts, and who have the KPIs, what are you going to tell them about SOPs? So first build the 1 to 7, and then bring in the SOPs, and then build in a strong management system where your MISs would come to you at whatever time interval you want to do. Once you do this, and this can take time, this is not going to happen overnight. This may take anywhere between 3 to 6 months, because you're changing the entire culture of an organization. You're changing the entire methodology of working of that organization. But this is the first step that you're taking towards saying that I am, as a business owner, dispensable in the business. Because if I'm able to instill this, then I am out of that business. Having systemized the business, then you move on to the 4th step, which is team. And that team is when it's going to replace the you. You want to go. Your business needs to run, whether as a profitable venture or just convert into a product for selling. It needs to run without you. As a business owner, okay, something that Tom Peters have said, that most employees are motivated, energetic, committed, enthusiastic, loyal, except for the 8 hours they work for you. So think about your team. What are they doing? Why are they not motivated? Read about Richard Maloney, who talks about the engagement levels of employees in an organization. And he says that only 10% of the people take accountability in that organization. 90% of the people, about 75% of the people come for their daily work, and they come and go. And 15% of people are pulling the organization back. Now, as a business owner, you need to figure out, what do you want to do with the team? Now, the challenge out here is, research has said that the relationship that the business owner has with the team is directly proportional to the relationship that the team has with the customers. Now, so that if the team is motivated and the team knows which direction they are going, they will go and take care of the customers. Now, if the customers get that additional importance and get that wow factor in, and they're raving about you as a business, they will take care of your business. They will buy more from you. They will recommend more to your their other friends, and your business will take care by itself. And when the business takes care by itself, the business takes care of you. The challenge out here is that the owner is today managing all three: the team, the customer, and the businesses. As Action Coach, we will help build your team so that your team takes care of the customer. Your team is motivated, your team is trained, your team has some aspirations in your business, and you just have to manage your team well. Building a business, building a team is not about getting people in, it is about getting the right people on the bus. And that's how winning teams know. Look at IPL. All of us know about cricket. Look at the amount of time they're sitting together in that auction room, trying to get the right people in the place, in their teams. It could have been by lottery, right? But they don't. A lot of money, time, energy is getting spent because you want the right people to be on your bus, inside your bus. Because if the right people are in the bus, if you have the right, if the right driver in place in the bus, the direction, you know which direction it is going. You don't have to do anything more. So when we talk in terms of teams, these are the 6 keys for a winning team. Leadership. Now, as a business owner, we know to do our job. Most of the times we have set up the business because of a strong domain knowledge. Nobody has taught us leadership. Nobody has taught us management. That is something that we need to learn now. How do you manage people? How do you lead people? Because only when you have a strong leader, and we have seen globally in all successful teams, the leader has to be extremely strong. Not somebody who does the job, but somebody who has the ability to get the job done. How is he communicating that common goal to people? How is he bringing his team together and selling the why to them? How is he setting the rules of the game, the culture that we have spoken about? How is he setting action plans? People talk in terms of set a 5-year plan. And many people struggle. 5 years from now, I don't know where I will be. So why don't we set up monthly plans for now? People who have not done that in the past, it's a struggle. So why don't we do a monthly plan, a 30-day plan, a 90-day plan, a 365-day plan to start off with? Why can't we have reviews on our weekly plans? There's a strong organization which talks in terms of every day people can go home only after they have set up their plans for the next day. On a Friday evening, the next week's plan has to be shared with the supervisors. On a Monday, you're all sitting and reviewing the weekly plans. And on a Thursday, you're reviewing where you have gone. What are the opportunities that have come up? What are the challenges that have come up? What are the roadblocks that have come up? How can we do ourselves better? We are not setting action plans. I have seen organizations, and a very close friend of mine who says, let my team relax. Whenever there is work, I will tell them. Is that how you run a business? I've seen people sitting, doing nothing for 6 hours, 8 hours, sitting there and watching YouTube videos. Is that what you do as a business owner? And then you end up complaining that my team cannot function without me. What is that common thread? The common thread is that you have not been able to get people to act. As a business owner, you support risk-taking. When you support risk-taking, people will take risks. Allow people to make mistakes. When you allow people to make mistakes, they will be with you. And then there's 100% involvement in everything that you do. Share with the team. You include them in. So what we have done in the first 4 levels is we have given the business owner time. Time that you did not have. Money you did not have and time that you did not have. We have given that to you. We have systemized the business, and now we are giving you your freedom back. You now have the freedom to do whatever you want to. Coming back to your business should be out of choice, not out of necessity. When you're coming to your business, it should be because you want to come there, not because you are part of that bottleneck that unless you come, the bottleneck doesn't get cleared. Now you can replicate the business elsewhere. Now you start thinking about how do I grow? How do I franchise out that business? What are the new markets that I need to go? What are the new businesses that I need to start? What are those personal goals that I have not fulfilled for so many years that I go and fulfill them? Go out, because now you have freedom. The mastery piece is the most challenging because it's painful. Because everywhere you're burning out, you're putting out fires. First, you're taking off all the chaos that is there in the system, and that can be painful. Then you're bringing in systemization in your money piece. Your understanding about your finances has to grow. Your delivery, which is a challenge in most business owners, has to get resolved. Your team management, your time management has to become better. But once you have mastered that, the other three are fun. Because you have seen Nich is fun. Creating USPs is fun. Creating that 46% growth can be fun. Creating that 61% growth in profits can be fun. Bringing in systems is fun because now you're backing off money. You're no longer worried about your cash flows, your money in place. And once you brought in the system, now you can bring good people into the system. You're bringing in strong team members into the system. Now you're able to delegate. You're connecting to people on an equal level rather than have to compromise on low quality people. Your fun element has come in. And now you're getting into the synergies. You're now looking at that big picture and say, what else can I do on this planet? Richard Branson has made a very interesting statement that if you can learn to run one business successfully, there's no reason you can't run any number of businesses at the same time. The principles are the same. And our job as action coaches is to teach you how to run one business successfully. You're doing it. You're doing it well. But I am now, as action coach, or we as action coaches are now shortening the path, making you achieve whatever your goals are faster. Because once you have learned that, you can go on and live a life of freedom. And that's what we are all looking for. Jim Rohn has said, and this gentleman, he passed away unfortunately a few years back, but I've been following him for the last 15 years. He gave two very important statements which have remained very close to our hearts. Never wish your life was easier, wish you were better. Look at the external environment. Maybe 20 years back, doing a business was easy. Today, doing a business is challenging. Businesses will keep on growing. Challenges will keep on growing. Newer competitors will come in. Newer technologies will come in. Newer types of people will come in. The millennials will come in. So never wish your life was easier. Wish that you are better. The more you work on yourself into a better businessman, the greater the probability that your business will be better. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job/business, because the more you work on yourself, the more you will convert your business into a robust system. That is the objective of life. Life will continue to become more and more difficult going forward, especially with the youth. Many of us have probably lived for 2/3 of our life. But people who are in their 20s and 30s, the life is not going to get easier. So whether you're in business, whether you're in profession, whether you sign up for any of the coaching assignments, irrespective of that, remember these two statements throughout your life. Never wish your life was easier, wish you are better. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job or your business. The more you do this, the more whatever you do in life will become easier. Brad Sugars, the founder of ActionCOACH, has said that in 5 years from now, where you will be will depend on the books you read, the people you associate, and the actions you take today. Because life results come from action. Results don't come from I want. And I would humbly request all of you, if you use this phrase, I want, in your subconscious mind, in your self-talk, change it. Change it to I will. Because the moment a person starts saying I will, there is no obstacle that will not melt away in front of a person who says, I will do it. I will become this and this person. I will achieve this success. I will be this person 5 years from now. But for that, you need to take actions. Whatever action you take, those actions will translate into results. If you're not happy with the results today, the seed that you're sowing is probably not the right seed. And probably you need to sow something different. Because if you want to become someone different and you want to achieve something else in life, you cannot achieve it by doing your business or running your life the way you have been for the number of years that you have been on this planet. As action coaches, how do we work? Our action coaching is a face-to-face and over the phone, 1 hour per week. Because if you look at yourself, and if you go to the gym, and if you do 10 push-ups, and if there is a trainer standing behind you, you would push yourself to do the 15 push-ups because the trainer will push you. And by investing this 1 hour a week with the coach, having somebody to share your thoughts with will make you push harder on yourself and on your business. While you're running your business, whatever amount of time that you give, and many people that I've asked don't even know how many hours they give in their business. And so they don't know how many hours they want to reduce in their business, say 2 years from now, but you still have to invest additional 4 to 5 hours per week working on the business. Because if you're not ready for that, this system will not work for you. Because we are all in the business so much that we need to pull you out and put you on the business for about 8 hours a week, 4 hours with the coach and 4 hours on the business. So you have to be determined to do that. And like as a coach, we will be behind the scene. All of our coaches will be behind the scene, critiquing your work, brainstorming with my fellow coaches. The advantage that we have is, one, we have a system, and one, we have 15,000 coaches, 10 to 15,000 coaches. So we can always brainstorm and get solutions for you. The first step that we will take is a business health check. And this will be shared complimentary to you today, to whoever has joined this webinar. This will give you a fair idea about where do you see your business in, and you will be able to identify some pain points. Now, I leave it to you whether you would want to self-analyze your business and take actions from there, or you can share it with me for a discussion. And this entire business health check process is pro bono, because we are in the system of business re-education through abundance through business re-education. So this business health check is a pro bono process that we as coaches are giving to all our participants. So post this event, I will email you the business health check document. Actions you need that you will take on that business health check document is your action. It will depend on the results that you would want. You can either ignore it totally, or you can fill it up and study internally, or you can share with me and take my inputs on that, but everything pro bono. Once we decide to move on, and if you decide there is no compulsion at all, then we get into positioning, where we'll get into a detailed conversation on your planning, on your sales, on your marketing, on your financials, on your systems, on your team. We will have a detailed conversation of what will be our immediate areas of addressing. Because end of the day, we give a 17-week guarantee. If in the 17 weeks, you don't get visibility for the money that you have invested in coaching, if you don't get in the first 17 weeks, we do the rest of the weeks free of charge for that entire year. That is our USP and guarantee, because we stand by what we are saying. And if things are done right, then this will happen. Then the first step of a coaching would be the alignment consultation, and we can talk about it more as we go ahead. First will be your alignment of your business and personal goals for the leadership team only of your business owners, and then a few questions about your business, and then we will talk about your current marketing. So this we can talk later as and when we reach that stage. Tiger Woods have made a statement: no matter how tough you think you are, you can't do this on your own. So I leave this final slide for you, that this is where we have as the 6 steps for massive growth post-COVID. Pre-COVID, the 3 runways for success. Post-COVID, the 6 steps for success. Thank you very much. Let me look at the chat box and see what I can address. But before that, I would like to share with you this document. This is how the business health check document would look like, which I will share on an email to all of you. So this is a comprehensive document of what your business is and about your individual personality, etc. So I'll share this with all of you, and then the actions that you take are yours. I will open up the chat box. Fantastic. Can you share your number? Okay. Can I share my number? Okay, 98191222170. This is my number. Ajay Bansal, thank you very much. Mukesh, thank you very much. I will be sharing this recording. I'm recording this, so this recording will be visible to, will be available to all of you. I will retransfer it to you. So that's that. Richard Maloney, you can, Vivek, for your benefit, you can go to his site and read Richard Maloney. Thank you so much. Any questions I can address? Any questions? I will open up the chat. I will open up the, I have unmuted all of you. So if there's any question that I can address. Thank you so much, Beauty. Thank you, Shailesh. Yes, Ajoy, we are doing that as well. Yeah. Yes, please. Can you repeat? Can you repeat your name? Vivek? Guys, if you are not on, if you are not on, I will mute it. Anyone has a question, you can unmute yourself and ask, please. No?
Hello. Hello.
Yes. Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm Sanket Mehta.
Yes, Sanket.
First of all, it was a nice session from your side.
Thank you very much.
And enlighten us for what we are doing right now.
Right.
I would like to understand for this action coach plan.
Yes.
Can you just elaborate what is the approximate cost of the same? What plan you are planning to execute in my company? Yeah.
Okay. So it will all depend on the business that you are in. You said your name was what? Sorry, I missed your name. Sanket, right?
Sanket Mehta.
Yeah, Sanket. So we have multiple models of coaching, and I just gave you a flavor of the coaching. All coachings are on a annualized basis, right? So it's a 52-week sign up.
Okay.
But because the business owner travels and I would travel, so the actual coaching is delivered in 48 weeks.
Okay.
Right. So 48 weeks, 1 hour a week is assigned for that coaching. So we have a system, we have a process of doing that, which first starts off with the business health check. Once the business health check happens, we get into a conversation. From that, we will get into a positioning. And then once we have agreed on whether to go ahead or not, because then I'll send you a detailed proposal, you can pick and choose whichever model you want to operate in. There are 4 models of coaching. Then we would get into the alignment, right?
Okay.
Because from that alignment, we would identify, see, the point is that you are all in the business currently, right? So if I tell you to do 100 different things, nothing will happen.
Correct.
Right? So in the first year, we will look at critical 10 to 12 areas of intervention. So we'll create a 365 day plan. From there, a 90-day plan to bring in those 10 to 12 elements. Right? So once we have done that, we will then get into a detailed coaching session. Vivek, we can have this conversation. So I have had worked with clients and we continue to work with a lot of clients. So I'll send you the detailed list of clients that we have worked with, right?
Please send me two.
Yeah.
For the same.
I will do that. I'll do that because Action Coach has been in India for the last now 12 years. So there are a lot of coaches around. So I will share that with you, Vivek.
So okay, one more question. More question.
Yes, please.
This your Action Coach will be working on our team or our staff, or it will be guiding us, and we will have to get our staff work.
So end of the day, this is not a consulting assignment where we see. And what is coaching? Coaching is when we will teach you how to run a business, when we'll train you how to run a business. A consultant can come and change the way a certain business works, right? But tomorrow you want to run another business, you will have to get that same consultant again, right? So here the processes will be shared with you. We will set up goals where you will have to go and implement. We will do the entire hand-holding and the guiding processes, right? So that things happen. But finally, you are getting empowered to run multiple businesses after this is done with.
Okay.
Right?
Got it.
Yeah. So, and you can also go to actioncoach.com website. And this is a global website, and you can see everything there. And I will send you a few documents. Which city are you based in, Vivek?
I'm in Mumbai.
Sanket, you are in?
Yeah, I'm in Mumbai.
Which part of Mumbai? Where is your business? What's the kind of business you have, Sanket?
We are manufacturing process vessels and equipments.
Okay.
We are factory in Vasai.
Okay.
And office in Borivali.
And where do you live?
I live at Borivali.
You are at Borivali. So I operate from Thane, right?
Okay.
So my office is here in Thane. Right?
Not a problem.
Vivek, where do you operate from? Mumbai. Okay, sorry.
Good evening. How are you?
I am good, Vivek.
I am in Mumbai. We are a manufacturer. Yes, I'm a manufacturer of stainless steel pipes. We have around 150 plus manpower and more than turnover of 150 crore.
Oh, fantastic.
And I really like the monetary limits and different types of the pyramid what you have constructed in your diagram. It's really worth doing it. And your approach is also correct. First, you are doing a health checkup, and then you diagnose where is the problem, and then you are attacking on those areas. It is a very good way of doing it.
Yeah, the challenge, Vivek, is you can't do multiple things at the same time, right? So you have to figure out that Pareto's principle and see where it works and where it doesn't work immediately.
Correct. Absolutely. So my question was, where do you do this coaching?
Coaching is, typically we have, the way we are structured is one session at the client's place a week and 3 online. 3 through the Zoom. Sometimes you may require to do it
online.
Yeah. Sometimes the business complications could be so high that you may have to involve more number of people. And at that point in time, more than one session will have to be done face to face at the client site. So it will all be based upon the requirement, but at least one session face to face in a month and 3 online. But depending on the complexities, and sometimes if you need to involve more people in your activities, maybe you need to get your CFO in your sales team and other people, then you will have to do multiple sessions at the client side. But these are done typically at the client
Okay,
side.
you will be only coaching, or there will be another faculty as well?
I will be the only person coaching. Whatever.
Okay.
So we have about 20 coaches. So for each of the clients, we are the person. So we remain the face. So nobody else will get involved, right? At some point in time, for some competencies, I may want to bring in another coach along with me, right?
Okay, let me ask you one question.
Yes, please.
Ajay Bansal, these are all varied business, manufacturing compared to services, to financial services.
Correct.
So does the coach come along with the domain expertise, or domain expertise not required?
The fact of the matter is we don't want to get into domain expertise, because domain expertise is yours.
So the way the business runs also decide what you do in the business.
Yes and no. Because everywhere globally, that's the same thing that we have been told. All the 15,000 coaches have the same statement that, sir, you don't understand our business. But the business model, business framework doesn't change, right? So we don't bring in domain expertise, and that is the strength that we bring in. The domain expertise is yours.
Okay.
Anything else I can address out here, please?
From my side, done.
No, thank you very much. Any other questions? Otherwise, yeah, yes, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you. You have named one book, Instant Success.
Yes.
Just any other books which you would recommend for?
Yeah, Brad Sugars has written about, I think, 19 or 20 books, right?
Oh.
So when you go to Amazon and type in Brad Sugars books, you will get all of them. So whichever you feel will be required for you right now, whether it is working on your cash flows, whether it is sales and marketing, whether it's on systems, you can get access to all those books, and they are very reasonably priced. I'm not sure whether you will currently be able to get them because of the lockdown, but once the lockdown
No, I have a Kindle, so I can.
You can do that. You will. Those books are available on Kindle as well.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you
please.
very much.
Thank you very much.
Mulaji.
Anji.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes,
how
please.
much time you take to study the entire case and make a strategy like?
See, the strategy is based. It's a very dynamic situation. So when we talk in terms of the business health check, and we get into a conversation post the business health check, we will be able to identify few areas where it will require intervention. From there, when we do the alignment actually throws up to us between the coach and the coachee, what are those 10 to 12 areas of intervention. Based on the 10 to 12 areas of intervention, we will draw out a plan of action. The plan of action will be first 365-day plan, that this is what we want to achieve in year one. From that year one, how do you break it down into 90 days? Every quarter, what do you want to achieve? From that, every week, what do you want to achieve? Right? So that's the kind of processes that are built in.
And
So
if I have more than one business, then the fees will be separate for every
yes,
assignment?
every business will be separate. So you may want to look at one business at a time, and then after 6 months start the second, because my suggestion would be, if you are involved in multiple businesses yourself, the challenge would be whether you have the time to give to the transformation process. Because I would want the business owner to give about 8 hours a week into this transformation. 4 hours you will have to give for the one-to-one sessions, and 4 to 5 hours into doing the extra work that you have to do. Suppose you're doing multiple businesses, then where do you bring in the time? If you have other people who are driving those businesses, where you are taking responsibility of one and somebody else is taking responsibility of others, I think it's then possible doing multiple businesses. Otherwise, I would not recommend doing multiple businesses together.
Okay.
Vivek, I will send you the document. As soon as you send me the business health check, I'll send you the send this document to you.
You'll be mailing me the business health check documents.
I will mail all of you, whoever has participated, this business health check document in the next 2 hours.
And a video also.
And this video, I will put it on the WeTransfer and send to all of you, right? So have a look at the video, have a look at the business health check document, and then once you have sent me the business health check document filled up, we will set up a call at mutual convenience and review that business health check document and then decide whether you want to go ahead or not.
Perfect.
Okay. And
Thank you.
please also share your presentation as well.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vivek.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
your
Thank
time.
you, Mala. It was very enlightening and it will definitely help us to put our
Yeah,
business on the
same
right
here.
track.
Thank you so much. Wherever, I think as senior professional business owners, there could be some areas where you could automatically and bring in some changes, but wherever you think we need to intervene, please let me know. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.